Hello everyone, Dan KBG Kune Physiology. More today, day 2 of athletes and carbohydrates. So what I want to discuss today is types of carbohydrates. So for athletes, obviously carbohydrates are essentially are very essential. They are crucial to your performance. Now, the thing is, you can actually benefit from the fuel source as fats as well as carbohydrates. However, it depends on your intensity level. What I mean by that is I've always based, at least for the most part, I continuously push myself, but I've actually based, like, if I'm going to do a high volume, high intensity training, I'm going to increase my carbohydrates and my fats as well. The fats to cover the high volume aspect, the carbohydrates to cover the high intensity. If you're doing mainly high intensity, obviously you want to make sure you're getting sufficient carbohydrates and still sufficient fats from as much natural sources as possible to support not only your activity levels, but your either testosterone or estrogen levels, as well as other functions in the body to protect your immune system as well. There are so many benefits to it. However, you've got to have that good balance. So, as far as types of carbohydrates, you're probably thinking, oh, I'm going to say breads and cereals and pastas. No. Now, I'm not saying to completely avoid those. I strongly recommend avoiding bread. Because most bread you get, yeah, you can get more natural or if you make your own. But most breads out there are going to have high fructose corn syrup. They're going to be a higher starch because other shit they add to it. Maybe other types of corn syrup. Maybe other types of sugars, okay? The thing is, obviously, to make bread, you've got to have something to make it rise and all that preserve and all that good shit. That's why it's best to avoid it or make your damn own so you know exactly what's in it and how much and all that kind of good stuff. No, what I'm going to tell you is focus more on a variety of beans. A brown rice rather than white rice, or if you're doing white rice, do like a jasmine rice or wild rice, anything like that, because the white rice is going to be higher starch. Yes, you need starches as an athlete, just like potatoes. Yes, athletes can benefit greatly from potatoes, but obviously you want to go by your activity levels, because especially if you're an athlete who's trying to either cut or trying to stay lean for activities, events, tournaments, whatever it may be, you definitely don't want to be consuming an enormous amount of carbohydrates that your body is probably not going to burn off. Yes, it's going to burn off a good deal. Now, it obviously is going to get a little bit different when you're doing things like cross-country running, marathoners, ultra-marathoners. However, the longer the distance, the higher the volume, the more fats you will be consuming rather than carbohydrates anyway. The carbohydrates is going to be just to support your metabolism, your muscle function, protect your muscle, as well as make sure that you obviously, if you run out of your fat stores, you have something to rely on being your carbohydrates. Now, I want to shift it a little bit, because carbohydrates, most people think that carbohydrates should be your main fuel source. No, fats should be your main fuel source, because they burn longer and they have a higher energy level, 9 calories per gram, okay? So, this is where it gets a little bit technical or complicated, but breaking it down into a scientific aspect and knowing your body is going to be the key component. And what I mean by that is, if you know what kind of training you're going to do, say you're going to do higher intensity, and so you're going to consume a little bit more carbohydrates, but let's say you don't do that high intensity the next day, okay? Well, then the next day, you're not going to continuously consume a larger amount of carbohydrates. Cut your carbohydrates back a little bit, maybe increase your fats a little bit, or have, just level out both of them. You got to bring it down to your science and know your own body. Let's get out there, stay motivated, believe in yourself, believe you can do it, and believe that you deserve it. Let's get out there, let's go, smash, punch, kick that like button, just don't break it. Let's get out there. One thing I forgot to mention, obviously, fruits and vegetables, you also want to use as carbohydrate source. Not too many high amount of fruits at one time. Spread them throughout the day, but vegetables, definitely. Let's get out there, let's do these things, and push yourself. Let's go.